Hey everybody, it's Ron with Ron's Computer Videos. I want to welcome you all to our VCF 2024, VCF East specifically, 2024 wrap-up show. I've got some guests here this evening. How about we go through and do some introductions, starting with Mike.
Hi.
Always riveting,
Wow.
Mike.
Wow.
What do you want to know? Everybody knows me.
Well, not everybody. I mean,
I'm Mike.
surely
I live in
there's
Pennsylvania.
that lady that keeps giving you weird looks at the bank. I just figured that this would be your chance to shine.
Well, they only do that because they think I'm going to rob them.
Maybe so.
So,
RetroFox.
Hello. I'm RetroFox. I take a crap load of pictures at VCF, take a lot of pictures on my flea marketing travels. That's probably what a lot of people see from me. That's about it. I do a little bit of video here and there. Got a small YouTube channel. That's about it.
Ash.
Hi everyone, my name is Ash Said Hi, and I play retro games on Twitch, and I love the Amiga, and we did a talk this past weekend at VCF East about how to stream retro games, and that was really fun, so that was my intro into VCF.
Great. Steve.
Hello, I'm Steve from Mac84. I'm on the YouTubes and the Instagram and all the stuff, so hi.
Hi, I'm Kat. I also stream retro games on Twitch. Wow, I can talk. I have con crud. I'm Kat. I stream retro games on Twitch also, but I am of the Apple persuasion, and channel is below.
Hi, I'm John, Big Bad Biologist on all the social medias, and have the Big Bad Bench YouTube channel. I stream every Saturday at noon, doing mostly retro computer content.
I'm Sean. I'm on that YouTube thing as Action Retro, and was at VCF with some of the fine folks here, including two folks who exhibited with me with a very totally normal table.
Hi, I'm Tom. I clicked on a link and I appeared here. I'm also on Twitter at Torbar.
Hi, I'm Sloopy. I got lost because I was following Tom because he has time codes.
Well, I want to thank everybody again for taking a few minutes out of your evening to come and just kind of do a little bit of a recap. This was largely Steve's idea, but he's always afraid of crash and burn content on his channel. So that's why I won. I won the contest to just see like, you know, whose channel can take the biggest hit.
I mean, you said this would be pants optional, so I said,
I'm totally pantsless right now. I just, you guys are lucky that, I'm just a Muppet just from here up. So legless too.
Did you fall for that coin he has that says heads I win, tails you lose?
So let's take a few minutes. Let's talk about some of the cool exhibits and stuff that we saw there, exhibits, workshops. What do you got, Mike?
I didn't do any workshops, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, what cool exhibits did you see?
I don't know. I really like the guy that had the plotters.
Mm-hmm.
Printing out very, very intricate things with a Roland plotter of all things. I've never in my life heard of a Roland plotter.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably my favorite one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Except for this fat guy had an Apple IIc Plus. He was okay.
Yeah. RetroFox.
Hey. Well, I did sit in on some of the Atari workshops. They were pretty good. I caught the tail end of the FujiNet, which is where they start off just the basics of that. If you've never messed with one, best thing to ever come out for Atari, probably the best thing that'll ever come out for some of these other retro computers, just the functionality that it adds. Beyond that, I spent, as I kind of showed in my little photo journey, I spent a lot of time with the Quadra 700 that was part of that 40 years of Macintosh.
Mm-hmm.
playing up some Sim City because I absolutely love that game. So if I see it, I'm sucked in. It's like I've got to sit down and build something. But yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely one of my faves. There was one I really wanted to sit down and try. The guy that had built his own little optical scanner. You were sitting at that display, Ron, at one point, but they actually had a paper feed that you roll through, just like the old punch cards that he built, loaded the program right into the computer, that sort of thing. And of course, I saw some MSX stuff represented there, and I always love to see that.
That's Nick. That's our friend that we've exhibited near the last couple of years. Last year he did Colossal Cave Adventure stuff. But yeah, it's kind of neat. Like he's got that paper tape loading thing for the Altair. Way cool. Ash, what'd you see?
So since it was my first VCF, I was taking it all in. It was very, very cool. Like, and just like enjoying the grounds and enjoying like the people and, all the different areas of activity. I didn't get to do a workshop, but I did walk around the floor, where everybody had their little spot. And I liked the Weather Channel computers. Those were really, really cool because like I grew up watching the Weather Channel and like hearing the music and like seeing all the, like the computers going. It was like very nostalgia hit, so that was pretty cool to see. And I really liked Sean's like clear Mac that he was explaining to me why it was like it was like a messed up Mac that was like Frankenstein from parts. Is that what you said? Like that was really fascinating. That was pretty cool. And the 40 years of Mac history, that was really cool because I never really got a chance to experience Macs like that growing up. So that was cool to see.
That Mac exhibit was how many tables? It was like 8 tables.
27.
Yeah, it took up like an entire like wing of the event with just like a Mac XL and a Plus and a 128 and a 512, and it's
They could have shoved in some more Macs in between there.
Yeah, it was like 2 per table or something like that. It's
those are rookie numbers. You got to be like your shelf behind you, just like
right. You just like I mean, if you're not like having to use the keyboard like at an angle, it's something like there's
if
not
the
enough
magnetic fields of the CRTs are not affecting each other, you're doing it wrong.
Steve, what did you see?
There were 2 things that stood out to me. One was the history of the GUI that Ian and VCF put up, and that was they had like I think there was a Silicon Graphics or a Solaris system there, and then there was a regular Mac, like a 512K, and then there was like an old typewriter. And I had the picture here, but it's Silicon Graphics. That's what it was, Silicon Graphics system. But it was just really cool seeing those because you don't really see like all that stuff set up. And the second one I would have to say is the one that was the What If 2 90s operating systems, because somebody was just like wanting to really, hurt themselves harder than LGR did on those inkjet printers recently, and they wanted to run Copeland on a Macintosh, and so God bless them. But they also showed off Neptune, I think it was the Windows OS. So I thought that was really cool because that stuff, you could see pictures of and stuff, but when you click on the Apple menu and it takes 20 seconds to draw, that's experiencing the OS. So I thought that was neat.
Cat.
I think you guys like all the exhibits that I saw that like y'all already kind of like the cable one and the Mac one were the 2 that I really enjoyed. But I spent a ton of time in the Glitchworks area, and mostly because I actually brought my own stuff to work on. But I learned to desolder, and that is like my big win for the weekend. Was they had Neil Cherry. Thank you. I'm just teaching soldering, and I just rolled up with my little kit with my little pine saw and my little solder sucker, and I'm like, "Teach me how to use this," and I did, and then they did, and I'm practicing, and my goal is to depopulate an entire card and then actually start doing this stuff for real. So that was my big win was the learning that I got to do.
I was going to say, I saw some pictures you posted on social media where you were just like, I took this off myself.
Yeah. And I put it back on. I haven't put the other one back on. The goal is now to depopulate the junk printer card.
But it's way cool, though, because it kind of is like, that's a big part of this event as well. It's just, the having things where you can get your hands on and play around with stuff and just kind of have a good time, learn some new skills. John.
I gotta say, the Weather Star folks, I mean, they just keep finding new ways to cram more stuff into their exhibit. They seem to be going vertical and then just higher density. It's wild. Also, the clones of South America were very cool. There were some systems there that looked just like systems that we've seen before, but there were things that were just like, what the heck? Where did they come up with that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were my two big ones. Also, I mean, I was right next to III DIY, and he had a cool little setup where you could play video games on like the Mac TV and the 20th anniversary Mac, I think, as well.
Sean.
Well, as usual, my favorite exhibit was consignment, where I got to peruse through new garbage to bring home. And I only brought home a laptop, so it felt pretty good, and got a bunch of stuff out of my basement for the first time.
Yeah, I saw that you had a few things listed over there.
Yeah. And then second to consignment, I would say, is the Brazil, Argentina, South America clone exhibit. That was wild.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the in-depth story behind everything and how the two countries did it so differently and wound up with some very similar things. It's very interesting.
Tom.
So besides the ones that everyone else has mentioned, there's two that I liked that stood out. One was the Serial Port. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about a bunch of old servers, like the Cobalt Rack servers, and like he has a series about making a dial-up ISP, like basically what you would find like a small local dial-up ISP. So his exhibit was really cool. And then also there was a single machines in the back by the museum. Just like a 1999 E-Machines computer. And I like that one because I like stupid computers.
Very cool. Sloopy.
Do we have Darth Vader on the call?
Yeah, who's blowing on the mic?
Hey, me. I was on mute. So
yeah.
But the Motorola 88K Unix machine I thought was quite interesting. I also like the Brazilian clones, especially the TK2000, because I've always been interested in those since I got them, being an Atari person. I really like the being able to see the projects, especially with like John's Big Bad Biologist, the projects he's been working on in stream, and be able to see them there in front of you with all the wires and such. I really love that. And my favorite was, as Mike said, Paul Rickards doing the things with the plotters, which I thought was awesome. And like Sean's Action Retro said, the consignment was great. But Sean, the 5200, you remember the phone number that was written on there? It said, please call me for offer.
I think so, yeah.
That's why I was laughing, because I was waiting for you to call me.
Oh, I was trying to figure it out because when you walked away and I was like saying goodbye and you were like, you'll be something in a minute. Yeah. I thought you were like gonna like sneak up to consignment where I was going and like pop out or something.
Yeah, I was gonna go up to consignment and stand there when you made the phone call to say hey, and I was gonna say, hey, we meet again.
That would have been pretty funny.
Yes, but you had to ruin it and not call me.
Yeah.
So Kat said, or Kat had mentioned that she had attended a class at the event. Did anybody else here take time out of their schedule to go to any of the Atari classrooms or the Atari class? Because they had that classroom set up and it was a lot of Atari centric content. That's not necessarily my thing, but did anybody else make it to any of those?
I didn't go because I've been using Ataris for 40 years.
So clearly you have more to learn, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I know about 1% of the Atari 8-bit computers. And I've got like 25 of them upstairs so that I can learn every single thing about them.
I said I'm an Apple girl. If it would have been an Apple classroom, you would have peeled me out of there with a crowbar. But
That was the classroom last year. Actually, was a Apple II
I
classroom.
know I missed it, but I'm off by one.
Yeah.
That one was a lot of fun too.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always K-Fest for that.
But I did sit in on
I
did sit in on the assembly one for a little bit because for some crazy masochistic reason I think someday I'll mess with assembly. Probably won't happen, but it was a good little just intro to assembly. Very, very simple, but I think the instructor did a really good job of it. They definitely needed more Ataris than they had. That room was packed for most all the classes. They had early sign up. Sheet was full. Every Atari was in use, and I even saw a number of people that had brought laptops and were just running like Atari emulators, so they could play along without the real hardware.
Still, it was really cool to see people jam packed into those spaces to try to take advantage of some of those classes, because just the amount of talent that comes to these events is just staggering. There are just conversations that I just overheard during the weekend where people were talking about development stuff, or they had former Apple person from the original dev team for the Macintosh who had you're standing adjacent and they're like, oh yeah, and it was and we were working on this and working on that, and it was just sort of like, wow, it's just like so much of that knowledge is just the only place to get it is to be there in person, it seems like. But well, so we talked about the exhibits. We talked about some of the workshops and the classes and things like that. What about the talks? Did anybody attend any talks? Did anybody participate in any talks?
Loaded question.
So I'll start this one off. I wanted to thank both Steve and Ash and Kat and Action Retro for letting me take part in their talks at the event. The stuff that I was able to participate in, Steve had a talk on Friday afternoon that was all about collecting kind of retro Macintosh machines, just like a very kind of, you got an hour, so it's a very broad strokes sort of approach on what to look out for and how to avoid being take advantage of and various things. But Steve, did you want to maybe talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Ron, for participating in that, because it's always fun to have a co-host, not just read off the deck or whatever. So thank you so much for I interrupted his lunch literally like 2 minutes before the presentation. Say, hey, Ron, come on stage with me.
Actually, Steve, I did want to say Sloopy had to drop off because he's got some things that he needed to do this evening. But Sloopy, thank you very much for taking some time out to spend it with us. So go ahead, Steve.
Thank you, Sloopy. No worries. So thank you so much for helping out with that, Ron. We did post the presentation, so if you did miss the deck and you want to, for some reason, read along with it before VCF posts the recording of it, you go to mac84.net/start, and a lot of the resources and stuff that we touched on in that talk are listed there, along with the previous talks from other VCF events that we did, because this is sort of a culmination of a lot of the stuff that we've talked about before. But as I was really surprised, there were like probably 70 or almost 80 people in the room, because we had about 70 people respond to our giveaway thing that we did during the event. I was surprised there were that many people there on a Friday, because the exhibits weren't really open yet. It was just the workshop and talks. So that was really cool, and it's just exciting to see that there are so many people who are interested in this sort of stuff, and it's something that's not too hard to get into. If you are interested in the vintage Mac stuff, just make sure you know a little bit about it before you dive in deep. But have fun. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I feel like we got some really good feedback as well, just about the talk, because there were people this weekend that said, yeah, I caught the talk and I don't really collect Macintosh stuff, but I was just kind of curious. I saw you guys do former presentations at other VCF events, but it was kind of nice to get more of a broad sort of advice on some of those things and cover some things that you didn't maybe necessarily cover in the past. But I got a lot of positive feedback, which I felt was very good. People definitely complimented the slide deck and things like that. So there's a lot of really good information in there. So if you haven't seen it, definitely head over to Steve's website and check it out. And then I guess here shortly, like the actual talk will be up where you can relive it as if you were there.
Yeah, they could see in person me fitzing with a Windows laptop, not getting the start bar or the task bar to hide. This classic Macintosh user problem, you know.
Yeah, it's
Live tech support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were about a minute late showing up to the talk just because we were down in the cafeteria area and Steve was working out the details for the giveaway, which you gave away like a blue SCSI and what were the other
A
items?
mouse pad and a copy of the Lisa doc. So
Oh, that's great.
that was cool.
Very cool.
And all those people will be spammed on our email list.
And there was another talk that involved people that are in the chat right now. Ash and Action Retro and Kat and I did a talk just about streaming. Do you guys want to maybe speak about that?
Oh yeah. So it was very much an honor for them to ask me to moderate it. Totally wild. Never did that before. So thank you all for being so nice to me and making it so smooth. I think it was a really fun conversation about, like how to get started, how to start from nothing, stream your retro stuff, share your passions and like some of our origin stories. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I was so like, education is my day job, so anytime I get a chance to not only share what I'm doing, but also like, this is how you can join me, that's always a big win in my book. So I was like, senpai has noticed me.
Ash, you're a Twitch. There's what are all the terms? It's a Grand Poobah. It's King S of F Mountain. There's
like I said, senpai has noticed me.
Right. So you do a lot of these talks at different events and things like that. So how did VCF kind of stack up against some of the the Twitch events and things like that you spoke at in the past?
Oh man, it was really nice. It felt very intimate. The room was packed, which was awesome, and everybody was super engaged with. I think the audience was very engaged with what we had to say because there's genuinely a lot of questions about how to access streaming retro games on Twitch, right? And even if we can kind of just dip people's toe in, I think that that's really, the best thing we can do for the community at large. But yeah, I mean, in terms of, Sean was rocking it out. Great A++ moderator. I had a good time. We were all laughing. Ron, you had me laughing. Lady Alaros is cool. Amiga Bill, who was also there. We all had a really good time. And and thinking about how this talk goes similarly to other talks that I've done in the past, with the same topic, it was awesome. And I think that's the cool thing is you can kind of, you can shift it to each audience. Every audience is a little bit different in terms of okay, is this audience going to be super beginner, or is this audience have ending of what OBS is and stuff like that. And I feel like this was kind of an intermediate audience. So that's why I feel like everyone was super engaged. So it was great. And it was a good talk. It was really casual. And I hope we get to do it again next year because like I said, the more people we could get into preserving retro, computing and, just maybe experiencing these things for the first time or just sharing their experiences is super cool to me,
Absolutely. I just wanted to quickly mention that another person that did a talk there, Leon Binkowski, who from the Naboo project, was there and did some talks on Sunday. He was also there, just kind of walking around and encouraging people to get involved with Naboo, and to more or less kind of the next thing that I was going to say is just get out there and do things. Which is what I really liked about our talk, is that everybody was very much on board with the idea that it's the number one thing that you need for the streamer stuff is to just start. And it might be bad, or it might be, I mean, I can go back and I'll use Clint as an example since he's not here to defend himself. But if you look at those very early LGR videos, they are very rough. There's bad lighting. It's like very locked down camera. Like there's not a lot of the production that you see now, but he started. He just got going. And I think that is the problem that a lot of people have, where it's like, I just got to wait for the right camera. I got to wait for the right light. I got to wait for the right, whatever it is. You'll come up with a million excuses why not to start. So it was very, very gratifying that everybody was just like, it's like, you know what? I just threw myself into it and made mistakes, but had fun the whole time and stuck with it. So that was really great.
Do the thing. Do all the things. That meme from however many years ago.
Mm-hmm. John.
Exactly. So my partner came with me to VCF East, and she's not into computers at all. She's kind of annoyed that I have all this stuff. But she went to your round table, and she was like totally enthralled with the whole thing. She now was like, oh, wait, I can go online and play video games and do that? And I'm like, yeah, let's get you set up. So she might start it.
That's awesome. That's
you
really
love
cool.
to see it.
Internet
Let's
high five!
go.
Internet high five!
Yeah. I'm so happy that you weren't like, yeah, she sat in your panel and she was like, never in 100 million years. What is wrong with these people?
That's what she said after the Steve talk.
Oh no. So
after I helped you count all those capacitors, John.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed the other talks that I saw. There was a engineer from the early days of Apple that was there. That was Ron Richardson. He was talking about just sort of like the early days and what some of the design decisions and things like that. And out in the show, before his talk, he was walking around just asking people, hey, what do you think would be something interesting to talk about at the actual thing? And so I pitched him the idea for something. He actually used it in the show, and I was like, oh, that's really great. But he kind of has a special sort of a special thing that he's the only guy that at least I'm aware of that signed both the original Macintosh and the original Amiga. That it's, because a lot of that talent kind of went after the Macintosh project kicked off, just kind of went elsewhere. And he ended up working on the Amiga 1000. So it's really neat that we got to meet somebody that, go for it, Steve.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say, because a lot of these folks who are Apple adjacent tend to stay on the West Coast. So it's a nice treat when someone like Ron, I think his last name was Nicholson.
Yeah,
Nicholson. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Ron Nicholson.
He's not going to watch this. It's okay.
You never know. He's fuming at home right now.
He's like, that man, he doesn't know my name.
I answered all his questions for 3 hours.
I got his first name
and
right.
I still don't remember. Yeah, well, if you forgot that, Ron, we have to talk. But
yeah, right.
It's so nice to have these people come out and fly out or wherever they're located these days. But a lot of the talks, are usually on the West Coast. So it was really cool to have this in New Jersey. He was very excited and bubbly about the topic. His memory was super sharp about things that happened. His deck was great. Of all the little pictures he put in the presentation, all that stuff. So I'm excited to see the recording of it. Just to pick up on little things that I might have missed, but also like what a time capsule to have like this event, especially like the 40 years of the Mac. Perfect timing. So I was very glad they were able to secure his talk.
Absolutely. That's very cool. What other talks? Did anybody else attend any of the things on Saturday? Most of my stuff was Friday and Sunday, just because Saturday was such a busy day at the show. What were the final numbers? It was over 1,000 people on Saturday.
Oh wow, was it?
Yeah. Like Friday, I thought they said it was under 400, but it was maybe kind of close. And Sunday was maybe about the same, maybe a little bit higher. Just because there's a lot of people in the community there that necessarily can't make it on Saturdays, so they those are the folks you'll see on Sundays making deals, having fun, looking around, testing things.
It was 454 Friday, 1014 Saturday, and 655 on Sunday.
Wow. Okay. That's really great. I wondered where all my stickers went.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't keep them on the table. Justin's stickers, our stickers. I was just like dealing them like cards. Every time I go to the bathroom or get a snack or something and come back, you have to put more on the table.
I think the thing that excited me the most, speaking of attendance, was how many younger people were in attendance and
Oh,
how
yeah.
much, how many, like, we sitting in the glitch works, how many younger people came in and said, "This is cool. I want to put together a kit. I want to learn how to solder. I want to learn how to do this." And it's like, yay, because that's the future of the hobby. None of us are getting any younger.
Mhm.
And for all of this stuff to stick around, somebody's got to pick up the torch.
Mhm.
So that was my big takeaway of the week was there are young people interested in this.
Absolutely. Action. Can I call you Action? I mean, I think we're on a first name basis at this point.
It's
Yeah.
Mr.
I go by Ack.
Ack. But Steve and Ash and Sean are kind of probably the big names that are here tonight. And did you guys have, because I saw you guys talking to a lot of young people where I'm sure that they kind of come up and they've got questions and they're like, tell me how to do this, or how do I get started, or talk about that if you have anything to share.
Yeah, well, I think it's amazing how many young people come to these shows and are not just interested in the machines, but they know everything about them. I always find it interesting, like my own personal nostalgia for these machines that I saw as a kid, and they were like, things I never thought I'd be able to mess around with. But for these kids, it's almost like a whole different thing, right? It's like they're interested in computer history and like the kind of living computer history that VCF has, and it's awesome to see families coming. I saw several times parents and kids, and both of them shared the interest. The parent maybe nostalgic and the kid just interested in the old technology and how it worked. So I think it's incredible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of that too, like the parents and the kids playing together. And yeah, because for me, I always tell people I'm playing these games because I used to play them with my dad. Like, I used to watch my dad play his Amiga. So I know that these kids are going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember playing, such and such with my dad at this vintage computer festival. Okay, let me see what this is about. Or just like the people, like you said, like coming up and I had like a couple of people come up and ask me about, like OBS and how to get things to connect and, how to get things to, work and show and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And then the other thing too is like, I would also tell them like, hey, if you really love this show, check out some of the other shows that are going on, like VCF does other shows, or like if you've never heard of maybe some other retro game conventions, like go to your local one and peak, satisfy that curiosity. You know what I'm saying? Like just go and check it out. So I love seeing that. It makes me really happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is the best that we could do is encourage younger folks to get into this, because one day I'm going to have to get rid of all my e-waste, and who am I going to pawn it off to? So I have to get people interested. So like a few years ago, Elliot was the gentleman's name, the younger kid who came up and was asking me all these sorts of technical questions. And then the next year he was doing YouTube stuff, and this year he was hanging out and asking more questions, and we were just hanging out and having fun. But there are repeat people that you see year after year, and you sort of see their interests evolve, or they're curious about something. But there's also the people that you don't know; they're just strangers being part of the event, and they'll come up and ask you a question, or they'll pick your brain about something. And one of the funniest interactions was I had a Laserdisc player hooked up to one of the systems, and people kept seeing the sleeves of them and goes, "Oh, what records are those?" I'm like, "No, these aren't records. They're Laserdiscs." And I would press eject from the thing, and the huge tray would come out, and they were like, "What is that?" So yeah, just blowing these kids' minds of like, yeah, that's what your grandfather used to watch the stories on. It's a lot of fun. But I think also a lot of the talks that happen and the exhibits that are going on are great for these people to sort of like dip their toe in, as Ash was saying, and just see if this is something they're interested in, because there's like a very slippery slope of like, I'm interested in old computer, and oh, now I have way too many old computers. So get them, see if they acclimate well before diving in.
Also, I wanted to, I specifically had a question for Kat and for John, the big bad biologist. You're both science educators or science educator adjacent.
No, I'm not.
You're an educator.
Yeah, I'm an educator. I'm a humanities educator.
I know, but isn't that a science? The science of humans. Please do not take a hot crap all over this awesome setup I was trying
He was
to lay
trying
on
to
you
do an
guys.
awesome setup.
I
Yeah,
know,
I know.
but I just don't want anybody to get the wrong idea.
Yeah, we know all about your alchemy background. It's fine, but in
Yeah,
the
right?
context of this pitch that I'm making, but as
Tell them about
science
that.
educators, would you did you have maybe any comments, or just as educators?
Well,
There were a lot of things that were there at the show that were geared, that they were kits, or they were like there was a core memory exhibit where it's basically like here's a STEM kit that you can take and you can share with your students. There were other things there that were just like basically just like, oh, it's kit things you can kind of build and teach young people about electronics, or just teach them about the history of computing and things like that.
I think
If you guys both had something to maybe that you saw those exhibits and did anything stand out to you that would be of interest to other educators.
My brain went a different way when you said, I think talking about education and kids wanting to educate themselves. I was hanging out in Glitchworks on Sunday, and a young lady came in, and she was talking about how she wants to learn. She said, I want to go into cybersecurity, but I want to learn to solder, and I want to learn assembly, and I want to learn how the metal works, because that is where the exploits are going to go. You're getting to the point where these people are going to be going, lower and lower and lower in the system, and I'm going to have to learn all of this to keep up with the hackers. And I was like, the kids are all right.
I think so too.
But yeah, I wasn't even looking through anything this weekend. I was on vacation. I was off the clock. I was there as streamer me, not educator me.
Sure.
So I really wasn't kind of paying attention to any of that.
Yeah.
So
well, John.
they're like, as I look at these things, and the way I try to approach a lot of things is, kind of educational, but getting people engaged in anything is really a good way to get started in education. And so like having exhibits that people can play with, and most of the exhibits there are set up for people to play with. And like I saw a kid going through the 40 years of Macintosh, and it's like, oh, this one looks really cool, I can do all this stuff, why can't I do that on this thing, right? And so that's like causing them to start thinking about how computers are different and how technology developed over the years. So just getting the chance to get people to play with stuff, I think, is really important.
Absolutely. Your display was very interesting because you had a lot of your projects where you're just like shoehorning a different tech into these old machines, more than like modern upgrades, but it's like you have that Mac 2 that you have which the motherboard uses PGA style chips, but you had a PLCC style socket with like just a mess of wires connecting those two things up. So maybe if nothing else, it just kind of got people thinking, or it's your single board computer, but you've got it added where you can have a sound card.
Yeah, I like to make things that were not real.
Yeah, it's very cool. So, merch, pickups, fun things that you found at the show. I didn't really pick up a whole lot because, again, I was traveling to make it to the show, flew in. I did get a few small things. Steve was very kind to put those in boxes and send them back to me. Like I picked up at consignment one of those little Sony thermal printers, like for sonograph. I've always wanted one of those, never found one at the right price, found one at the right price at the show, which was kind of nice. And then also just picked up a few, like something off the free pile and something else. So nothing huge, but I forgot about your contest. How many caps were in there?
It was 603.
Well, now I know
the
for
winner.
next year.
Oh man, I think I guessed 12.
Yeah, you were a little off. So was Tom.
Yeah, I think I wrote that. No, I was right. I said at least 8.
You were technically correct, which is the best kind of
Kind of
correct.
correct.
Exactly.
The
Where's my
winner,
family?
the winner guessed 602.
Oh wow,
It's like
Wow.
shockingly awesome.
that's amazing. What was the prize?
I gave away Blue Scuzzy V2.
Oh, nice.
Neat.
Very cool.
I was gonna say your choice of capacitor.
Yeah,
Hey,
I went the one on the bottom.
don't get me started. I was a very good cat and did not buy anything except a hoodie. But
good.
it was so cold and windy on Saturday morning.
Mhm.
I can't think of anything on the any of you that waited in the consignment line. You have all of my respect and props because there is nothing on the planet I was going to wait out in the wind and the cold for.
Oh yes.
So Ron and I were taking videos of that, and I'm wearing shorts because in previous events I overheat, and so I'm doing filming, and I posted a short to YouTube, and at the end you hear some guy yell out, "How are you in shorts?" You know?
I think I saw you when I thought that. I didn't yell it though, but I'm just like, oh, Saturday was freezing, man. Anybody who got anything at consignment, good job.
Yeah, I didn't wait in that line. I did go, I think, after lunch. I picked up a Pico Gus. I picked up a weird AV box that has like every analog connection under the sun. I think it was like from 2005 or so. I picked up a stack of Xserve hard drive caddies that someone was selling at a very good price. A VCF shirt, of course, because you have to. And I think, a big wooden cabinet that you put floppy disks in. So that's just right up my alley. So that's what I ended up getting home.
Mike, did you get anything at the show?
I got a micro channel memory card for one of my PS2s for I think $25 with memory.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. So, and other than that, I wanted to get rid of crap. I was trying not to bring more home. I drove from Pennsylvania to New Jersey with a car full of crap, and I drove from New Jersey to Pennsylvania with a blissfully empty vehicle. So I was quite proud of myself, and I'd like to try to get that for a while. Plus, I had just spent hundreds of dollars earlier that week on other stuff that, you know. So, come on. Oh.
Yeah, you had your own personal VCF before. So
Right.
Just perfect timing.
So
you have no idea how expensive these cat cones are.
he just had surgery. Leave him alone.
No, I'm just saying. We just had surgery on our pup here, and it's like $2,000, just like fliff, like nothing. So, yeah, those fur babies can be expensive at times. So I get it.
Yeah, so you can also be brats.
Yeah.
Well, then your cat is catting properly.
Cat very well, believe me.
Yeah. What's it? Dogs have owners.
Dogs have owners. Cats have staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was taught to cat very well by a very experienced cat, who unfortunately is no longer with me. So, but it's very well known throughout the retro tech community. If anybody's ever watched my streams,
Lots
Ash,
of
how long
on
has your
keyboards.
cat been there?
Oh, my cat, she just got up here like maybe like 3-4 minutes ago.
Just looking, there's a cat.
Well, she
here.
knows you're online, and she knows that she wants to be the star like she was that one day.
Exactly.
You've created a monster.
Yup.
RetroFox, did you pick up anything at the show?
Probably too many things, but I rated the Eli's software table, picked up a few things there. There was some, I'm always looking around for a little bit of IBM software to run on some of my older computers. I got like the one thing that I saw when I was taking pictures on Friday of consignment, and for some reason it was still there, but there was this box complete Sony P20, pretty close to like one of the first digital cameras I ever had, and I actually walked around, took a few pictures with it.
That's great.
At the same time, picked up an external SCSI enclosure that was on the free pile. I figured I've got some similar ones, and they're pretty useful for some of us non-blue SCSI users, I guess, that still for some reason use hard drives.
Because you like pain and suffering. That's
Yeah.
what-
We'll
But
win
the
you over
biggest-
one day.
Oh yeah. The biggest thing though was I've had an Amiga 500 for a long time, but it's stock. It has the 1 meg up or the 512 upgrade trapdoor or whatever, but that's it. I've been loading software with the GoTech. You know, it works, but it's not great. I picked up the ACA 500 Plus add-on that goes in on the side card. It's a whole new world of Amiga gaming right now.
Oh yeah.
That adding that hard drive functionality, the speed up of the processor, the fast RAM. I'm just in heaven right now on the Amiga. Been having a lot of fun with it.
That's awesome. That's it's always kind of nice when you can find exactly like that cool little thing that you've been looking for to kind of take like whatever that project is to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ash, did you pick up anything?
I just, since it was my first time, I got like, a hoodie, of course, and a shirt, which I wore yesterday actually. And I got a bunch of the stickers and like just a little bit of like little things to remember the trip by. I wanted to get like there was like some games I was looking in there. I saw the Price is Right that was in there. I was kind of eyeballing that. And someone told me that there was a copy of Dungeon Master in there that someone bought it on Friday. If I knew that was there, I would have bought it myself, but I missed it. Someone scooped it up before me. But yeah, I missed some good deals apparently.
Steve, you'd mentioned a few things you picked up. Did you have anything else?
RetroFox reminded me there was some box software, so I did pick up a few things that will be archiving if they are not archived. So I never, you saw me all the crap that was loaded in my car. So,
I did.
yeah,
I did.
And
You were
there's
like
an image writer in the garage with your name on it, Ron.
Yeah,
so.
you were like, Ron, could you go ahead and just ride back to the house in the sidecar? And I was like, sidecar?
Oh, I'm sorry, I mean the roof.
Right. Yeah. But there was some Macintosh software on one of the tables that was unarchived.
Yeah.
So, but now is archived.
Yeah.
That's another neat
RetroFox
thing.
picked that up, which was great. So yeah, that's another thing that a lot of us do, and we mentioned in our talk is archive a lot of this stuff. So there might be a copy out there, but maybe it's copy protected, or maybe it's just the installed version. It's not the original disc and stuff like that. So we always tend to come along and grab some more discs and things like that. I think I grabbed some more off the free pile, and they're already on the Internet Archive. So there you go.
Cool. Kat, did you grab anything else that you didn't mention a second ago?
Nope. I was trying to behave. No, like I said, I had just before VCF, I had just picked up another Mac, and I was just like, I've got enough projects on my plate right now. I've got a 2 in small pieces behind me, and I've got a monitor that needs to recap. I'm like, I don't need any more projects. I don't need any more stuff.
Fair enough.
I just bought a pink Mac.
Oh yeah.
I picked up a Strawberry iMac like the week before VCF. So I was like, you already got a new toy.
John, did you get anything?
I got a Macintosh 128 512 Plus mouse. It was kind of hiding on top of one of the shelves on Sunday morning when I went by the thing. I also bought this Mac 2 CX from Tech Night, and I didn't buy any of this, but somebody that just randomly came by my table was like, hey, do you know anyone that can use RD RAM? And I said, yes, I can use RD RAM. They just like gave me a bunch. I was like, okay,
Nice.
Cool, thanks.
Sean, did you pick up anything? You said you sold quite a bit of stuff. I saw that you sold a like a Mac TV.
Well, the best thing I picked up were the wonderful memories.
Oh.
But yeah,
and
I also
your wad
bought
of cash.
Yeah. Yeah, I sold a bunch of stuff. Came up to VCF with a full car and left with a mostly empty one. Yeah, I sold a Mac TV, some iMacs. I sold a PET 4032 that was beyond my ability to repair, but was in pretty good cosmetic shape. And yeah, I picked up a Zenith laptop that said doesn't work properly, and that was true. So actually, I have parts of it lying on my desk here right now.
Nice.
Yeah, bought a hoodie. I really like that gray. And yeah. Not too much though. Not too much.
That's good. Seems like everybody was kind of a little restrained this year, which is good. But I'm pretty sure that Mr. Tom Barber bought one of everything. This is the story that about excess and gluttony that I've just been waiting to hear this whole time.
So usually I'm very bad at VCF events. Like I'll go to VCF Midwest with an empty van and come back with a full van that's about half my stuff and half Steve's stuff. But I was pretty well behaved this year. I picked up a Parts K Pro 2 for $20. I picked up a couple of Pico Gus's. I picked up a Palm Pilot. And you know the movie Say Anything where the guy serenades with the boombox? I'm going to do that with a MIDI boombox.
Oh, nice. Oh, no.
So I picked this up too because I like stupid stuff.
Now, everybody has to be quiet for the next 7 minutes as the entire MIDI plays.
Yeah, we'll play all of Cannon Mid.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
I love that. Roland boombox. I think that is just such a weird thing that it's just like, you know what people love? Poor renditions of songs that they love.
Well, it's cool because it's got a MIDI input port on the back. So
don't those basically just kind of emulate like a SC55, something like that?
I believe so.
Kind of middle of the road. Like
so
not every sample, but lots. Yeah.
I'll hook it up to the Pico Gus and see how it is.
Looking forward to that video.
On Ron's channel.
Oh no, don't put this on me. But so it sounds like folks made some very frugal choices this year about how much space they were going to put in their luggage on the way home, which is always maybe the responsible thing. I know there's so much stuff there that I would have loved to purchase if I just had like the time and the money, I guess, but that's most things. But yeah, there was a lot of neat stuff at like there was a Mac 128 with keyboard and mouse at consignment for $100. So I was just like, wow, that's really great. Because I don't know how useful a 128 is. It's a great conversation piece. But that keyboard and mouse alone, there's your $75 to $100 probably. But there was like an Amiga 1200. There was like lots of other really, really neat things there that I did not pick up. But I did make a couple purchases from Tech Dungeon, which if you have seen any of their stuff, they make a lot of 3D printed items. They have new joysticks for a bunch of different platforms. They have like shelves and game organizers and a kind of a neat little LCD, programmable LCD display that you can, or LED rather, is probably, sorry, LED display, where you can make like custom patterns and things like that. And so they've always got a lot of neat stuff. I spent a little bit of money there. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. So, all right. So that was this year. That was the 2024 show. So I guess the next big question is, will you be back for 2025? And if you do come back, what do you want to see there next year? We'll start with Tom and we'll just kind of work backwards.
I will definitely be back for 2025 and I want to see all of you there.
Oh.
Aw.
It's very sweet.
Am I next?
For Mike. Just kidding.
I'll be there too, and I don't want to see any of you people there.
Oh no.
No, just kidding.
Wow,
I want to see an open bar.
Wear a blindfold.
You got to wear your BOS glasses if you want to see anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how to follow that, but yeah, I'll be there. I don't know what I want to see. I know I need to adjust what I'm going to display because this was my first time, and it was kind of overwhelming to try to figure that kind of stuff out. So it was a good test run.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kat. I didn't know if it was going like
Yeah, I wasn't either. I was going to say, am I next or is Ash next?
Yes, you go ahead.
Okay. Assuming it doesn't conflict with any of my day job stuff, I will be back. I'm actually thinking about exhibiting next year.
Cool.
because I saw the plotter. I was like, the plotter guy was awesome, and I actually pinged him on Mastodon. I'm like, hey, there's this place called Spoonflower. Have you ever considered fabric? And he was like, Mer? So, but he did not have or really know much about the plotter that I have, which is the Apple 410 plotter. So I'm thinking about doing an exhibit next year.
Very cool.
They're small, but it's a rare piece that not a lot of people have seen or heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my like. I want to experience giving to the show.
Yeah, so I will definitely be there next year because I can't not because VCF. And it's in my home state. I have no excuse not to go. So yeah, and it's always awesome hanging out with a bunch of folks. Or like I think DIY had a PowerBook issue. I loaned him a SCSI cable. John needed power cables and a display and stuff. And I'm like, just take it from my garage. You know, so it's always fun just hanging out with folks. The time goes by way too quickly, but I think that's, you know, just you're having so much fun. It just goes by like that. So definitely be there next year.
Yeah, I think I want to go definitely next year because I missed out on what do you call it? Oh my god, my brain's not working right now. I missed out on pinball and I wanted to go do some pinball. I missed out.
It's a date for next year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I definitely want to come back. It's always a good reason to visit New York, New Jersey for me. And if I can somehow bring up the SX64 that I have, I would love to bring that up because that would be cool to see and to share with people.
Absolutely.
Well, somebody's got to take too many pictures, so. But no, yeah, it's kind of like with Steve. It's right here nearby. I'll definitely be there. You know, barring anything stopping me. So, it like some others have said too. It just goes too quick. It feels like it's over almost as soon as it starts, kind of thing. But ton of fun. Highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't been.
I think I'm going to get out of this hobby and sell everything off.
If you're selling, I'm buying.
Yeah, right. I know. It's like, where is your eBay? Where is your eBay auction?
I mean, of course, I'll be there as long as I can get my hotel room again. Hopefully, the bed this time will be a little less lumpy.
Sorry, the garage is packed now. You'll have to sit on the bicycle.
Why can't we just get a couple 100 Mac 2s and just make a bench, you know?
Yeah. Sure, donate the Mac 2s. I'll make it happen.
So, yes, I mean, this is what, 4 years now, Steve? Have we done this?
Yeah, something like that. Every year we say we're going to do the pinball, and then we're so exhausted we don't. So yeah. I'm glad Ron got to experience it.
When it's exhausting, and I drive the furthest.
Yeah.
So
that's understandable.
3.5 hour drive really kills me, but yeah, it's worth every mile, except for this year when I dealt with the storm on the Parkway, which scared the ever living what out of me. But yeah, I'll definitely be there. And hopefully, you guys will all be back too. So
awesome. I'll be back there as well
except for you, Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Except for you.
Oh yeah, except for me. No, I'll be back for sure. I've had a good time the last couple of years that I've gone. Last year was just like a whirlwind because I was around. I felt like I was just like filming the whole time and doing like little quick videos on stuff. And this year I took more time to actually just sit down and just talk with folks and just kind of experience like some of the things I like last year I didn't sit down at a single exhibit. I went and talked to people about their exhibits, but I didn't actually get to do anything. And so this year I made it a point that it's like if somebody has something that's interactive, I want to sit down, I want to touch it, I want to play around and do whatever it was. There was a fairly cool exhibit all about some of the kind of edutainment kind of software and learning tools and stuff like that for the PC Junior. So I sat down with Dan and we went through like exhaustively like all this neat stuff about the PC Junior and the software and things like that. And so I did record a lot of that. I'm going to have a video that's going to be coming out. I've also got another video that I worked with Marshall on that he has like this very sort of obscure DOS compatible machine. And it's just like it's one of those things where it's like the floppies are very fragile and the software is like more fragile, or I'm sorry, more rare and valuable than the machine, and it's just like all the type of stuff. And Steve and I, we were there kind of late on Saturday taking a look at that, and the whole time they were like, it was like, hey, it's like, let's not break anything, let's absolutely like this preservationist mindset and all that. I just love those type of things, so I am back for sure for those. So
I was physically there, but I fell asleep, I think.
yeah, Steve was wiped out. But since we're kind of at the end, we did say we were going to try to leave, kind of keep this to an hour. How about we start with Tom Barber? Just go ahead and let people know who you are, where to find you, and all that.
Hi, I am Tom, and you can find me on the stream for the next 5 minutes. And also, you can find me when I figure out where OBS is on my wonderful fancy effects at Torbar on Twitter and Blue Sky, and at Torbar at bitbang.social.
I'm sorry, but I'm making that like Leonardo DiCaprio face when Cillian, sorry, he's Irish. Cillian Murphy was showing him that thing. Like, it's just, I can barely read it, Tom.
Oh, let me make it bigger. Hold on.
Can we get some fontage?
I need an Amiga video toaster.
Can we get some point?
Someone wants to donate one to me.
Oh, much better. Got it. Sean. Ah!
Hey, I'm Sean. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. That's my name on YouTube. It's Action Retro. So you can find me there. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Ron.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. John.
Big Bad Biologist at bitbang.social. And I do the YouTubes every Saturday, I stream at noon, and we do silly soldering projects and whatnot.
Pretty cool. Cat. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, I muted myself because I was sneezing. I am Lady Aileros on all the various socials. Lady Aileros on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I'm Lady Aileros at mastodon.social on Masto, I think. Lady Aileros on Twitch. I stream Sundays from about noon to 3. If you want to watch me fail at Apple games, that's always a good time. And I'm glad I got to be here.
Very cool. Steve.
I'm Steve from Mac84. So, hi, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch occasionally, but I have to start that up again. You've all inspired me. And I'm on social media and stuff like that. But if you want to learn more about my channel or anything like that, or the talk that Ron and I gave, mac84.net/start. This is where you need to go.
Hi, everyone. You can follow me everywhere: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Blue Sky at Ash Said Hi. And yeah, thanks for having me, Ron. Look at this cool sticker I got.
Oh, yeah. The new sticker.
Yeah, I got some cool stickers. So, yep, you can find me everywhere at Ash Said Hi.
Pretty cool. RetroFox.
RetroFox, RetroFox 8-bit on the Twitter X, whatever, and Mastodon. Barely on YouTube. You can same name, RetroFox 8-bit on YouTube, I believe, as well. So,
Mike.
I'm Mike. I'm the proprietor of Mike's Mess, which is very fitting right now because my studio is a mess. So I'm on YouTube. I stream occasionally. I will be getting back to a more full schedule once things are finally, hopefully very soon, put where they belong in this house. And so I might do something this weekend. I'm not sure yet. Depends on my mood. So But I have plenty of Apple II stuff to do now, so I'm good there.
Great.
Yay!
And again, I'm Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. I want to thank everybody for taking a few minutes out of their evening and spending it with us. You can find more information about what I'm doing at Ron Comp, or it's actually, is it Ron or Ron's? It's hold on, let me check my website real fast. Pretty sure it's ronscompvids.com.
I think that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure that that's what Pork Fun keeps charging me for every year. So, but thank you again to everybody here on the panel. It was great seeing you in person. It was great. Okay. Sorry, it was Action Retro was like slipping into the mirror universe there for a second. But it was great seeing everybody there in person. It was great checking out your exhibits and spending a little bit of time and getting to see you kind of outside of just the virtual spaces. So thank you to the audience at home for joining us. I hope that you will consider attending your nearest VCF this year. And if you happen to be in the area, next April, definitely give VCF East a shot. So everybody, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening. As I always say, Apple II forever.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Free forever.
Good night.
Whee!